please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, as well as turn on your notifications so you won't miss when I upload a new video. With that said, let's get on with today's video. Okay, you guys, I thought I was filming, but I was not. But today we are sewing up the Rainy Day Romper by Oh My Patterns. I bought it from Etsy. The only thing I have done so far is I have taken my bodice piece, and it is right here, and I have put the two bodice pieces together. I put them right sides together. I sewed the top of it at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I turned it right side out and top stitched it, and that's all I've done so far. And the next step is to pin it to the straps. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm pinning it to the straps. Let me see if I can get a better view. That's better. Okay, so I'm pinning it between my straps, which I think is what the pattern is telling me to do. I'm reading the pattern as I'm doing this, as I'm sewing this, so I'm just trying to, get it together. I'm winging it, as I usually say, but I think I understand it as far as what it's asking me to do. So it says to pin the bodice piece in between the straps. And these are my straps here. Here is 4 strap pieces. And so I did that. And the next thing it says to do is to sew around the sides of the straps. So basically I'm gonna sew the top edge of the straps all the way down the side, but not the bottom. And I'm gonna do that to both of the straps. And once I do that, I will be right back to move on to the next step. I did make sure to change my bobbin thread as well as my top thread to a blue to match. This fabric is a denim. It's not a heavyweight denim. It's like it's not light per se either. It's like medium weight denim. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna use for this pattern. I think you're supposed to use like quilting cottons or medium. It said like lightweight cottons or whatever other kind of woven you want to use. But I wanted to use this cute denim. It's like a heart denim. If you watched my video where I made my first pencil pouch for my daughter's homeschool year. If you watch that, then you've seen this denim. And I've had this denim for like years. And like I said, I'm just trying to sew through my stash a little bit so that I can make room for new fabrics and justify buying new fabrics. So I'm just trying to sew through my stash, and I'm sewing items right now for a new baby niece that's coming in November, and also practicing some different patterns for a new shop that I want to open sometime later this year, hopefully. And I already have the shop set up and everything, but I'm gonna take my time and be really intentional on what I put in it. It is a baby and toddler and kids focused shop. I'm gonna have like some mommy and me type things in there as well, but yeah, that's mainly the focus of that shop. But I'm working on it, and this will be, if I can get this, if I like this pattern, if I feel like it's worth it, this will be one of the patterns that I use in that shop. And you see there, I have sewn down the side and at the top of this one, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one off camera, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have attached or sewn both sides of the straps down. Now I need to clip the corners of these. And again, you always, when you're clipping the corners, you want to make sure never to cut through the stitches. Of course, that's something we all know. So I'm going to clip my corners on both straps. And then I'm going to turn the straps out, and I'm going to go ahead and press them out a little bit, and then top stitch. Now, hopefully my bad top stitching won't show so much this time, because I have fabric that is pretty close to the color of the denim. I have a navy blue fabric on. So I'm gonna go ahead over here to my pressing station and press this, and then I'm gonna top stitch. Okay, I'm over here at my little makeshift pressing station so you can see better what I've already done. So again, I have my straps. I probably should cut down some of that seam allowance, but I'm not going to, because when I top stitch it, I'll just catch it. But yeah, you're gonna go ahead and press these straps flat. I'm gonna give the whole thing a good press, making sure to push out my seams a little bit as well. I love this fabric. I have made everything from pillows to pencil pouches with this fabric. I want to say that my sister gave me this fabric, or I was with her when we bought this fabric and she bought some, and then I just had to have it. I love it. I wish I could find some more of it. I think it came from either Joann or Hobby Lobby, but when I was there at Joann last time, I don't think I saw this again. But if anybody has seen it or anything like it, let me know so I can grab some more, because I really do love this fabric. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish pressing this out, and then I will go over to my sewing machine and top stitch. And what I'm top stitching is, I'm top stitching the inner part of the straps here down onto the bodice. So that's what I'm gonna do next, and I will meet you back at the sewing machine. Okay, so now I have gotten that all pressed out nice and neat. Here's the bodice so far. I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch down the inner straps. So I probably should have went ahead and finished off these edges, because this fabric does fray, but you know, laziness. So I didn't do that, but I think hopefully it'll be fine. I am going to attempt to add a ruffle. I'm not sure if this fabric will be a little too thick for a ruffle, so I'll have to see about that. Or I might use another fabric and recut the ruffle in a different fabric to make this like a two-tone type of romper. But I'll figure that out when I come to that part. But now I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, top stitch down finish the inner part of these straps, and I'm just clipping it together so it won't shift while I'm sewing it. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the ruffles, and like I said, I'm gonna try them in this denim fabric and see how it'll work. I've used this for a ruffle before and it worked, so we'll see how they work. But basically the pattern says to put them wrong sides together, of course, and then I'm going to sew them together at the ends here. And so that's what you'll see me doing next. And I'm going to sew them with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So here on this part is where I said I was going to sew that curve, but first I decided to go ahead and fold it down. You were supposed to fold it down a 1/4 inch and then another 1/4 inch, I believe it was in the pattern, and I just went ahead and pressed that down. I realized I had my iron up way too high, so I went ahead and turned that down. But yeah, I went ahead and pressed that down on the edge, on the curved edge of both of the ruffle pieces, and then I'm gonna go to the sewing machine next and sew them down. But yeah, I'm voicing over this part and probably a few parts from now on because my sister did come over this day and we were in there chatting it up while I was sewing. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish pressing these curved hems. I'm gonna finish pressing these curved part of the ruffle pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to the sewing machine and sew it down. So I got done hemming, I guess you can say, and clipping the entire curved ruffle side of both pieces. And now I'm just going to go ahead and top stitch them down on that curved edge, making sure to catch the part that I pressed under at the iron. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that on both sides, and then I'll be back for the next step. And here are the finished top stitch ruffle pieces. And I think I did a good job. I didn't do too bad on that. But like I said, the matching thread really helps. You can't see it that much even if I did do a crazy bad job. So yeah, I got both of those straps done, and I'm gonna go ahead and move to the next step. Okay, so now I have to sew a basting stitch 3/8 of an inch away from the unfinished edge to gather the ruffle. And I'm not sure how this denim is going to gather, but I'm going to try it and we'll see. So I went ahead and did the gathering stitch on both of the ruffle pieces, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to need two rows of gathering stitches. So, but I went ahead and tried one, and one worked fine. And I went ahead and I'm going to gather both of these. I actually over gathered it at first. When I'm attaching it to the strap a little later, you'll see me like pull it apart quite a bit, because the space that I needed to fill was bigger than I expected. But yeah, the fabric gathered just fine. It actually made a really beautiful ruffle. And so yeah, that's just what I'm going to do here. And I may go ahead and speed up that part, just to go ahead and get to where we're going to attach it to the straps itself. After gathering the ruffles, grabbing my bodice piece that is already attached to the straps, and I am going to go ahead and attach the ruffles to the straps. Here I was just checking the pattern because I did forget to transfer my notch, and that notch helped me line up where I needed to start and end the ruffle. So I went ahead and did that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the other side as well, and then I will attach the ruffle to the straps. So here are the finished ruffles attached to the fabric. I'm just showing you that you only are going to sew them to the top layer of your strap fabric, and you're going to make sure that the bottom stays clear of your sewing machine when you're doing it. And yeah, I'm just going to sew both of the ruffles to the straps. Okay, so now you have to, the pattern calls for you on the back edge that is not sewn to the ruffle. It calls for you to draw a 1-inch line from this edge all the way down. But instead of doing that, I'm just going, and then you have to fold this towards the wrong side on that. Is it 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch? 1/2 inch. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and press down that 1/2 inch, because that's the next step anyway, instead of marking it. So I'm just going to use my little seam gauge / ruler to mark that 1/2 inch down the whole thing. Okay, so I have went ahead and pressed that down, and I clipped it on both sides, the 1/2 inch in, and this is the side that is not attached to the ruffle. So it's the back side that's not attached to the ruffle, and I did that on both straps. So the next step is I have to pin down the fold so it covers the line that I sewed on the top of the strap. And here I'm just showing you how to tuck the top of the straps in. You just want to fold it down and under, and go ahead and pin it or clip it and then sew down the complete part of the strap, including the part that we just clipped in the part before this. Okay, now I am going to the shorts part of the pattern. So I'm gonna start with the back shorts part. I need to transfer this dot to my pattern piece, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this part of the pattern. And I probably will just voice over this part because my house is kind of loud right now. So I'll show you each step of the way though. Okay, the next part of the pattern has for me on the back shorts to draw a line half inch away from the top edge and then 7/8 of an inch. So that's what I did here. And then I'm going to go over there and press it down on the half inch mark and then press it, fold it over again on the 7/8 inch mark and clip it. So like I said, I had to draw those lines, and I went over there and I pressed them down. I folded them over twice, pressed them down. I had to do the same thing for the two side short patterns. I mean side short pieces, or front, what are these called? Side front shorts. I had to do the same thing with these as I did with the back part of the pattern. And then this is the waistband, and I had to fold the bottom edge up a half inch and do the same thing. So I did that and I pressed it. And so now I'll get on with making the shorts. The first thing I did in attaching the shorts was I clipped together the side front shorts to the back shorts, and I clipped them together at the side. At first I had it clipped over that folded down edge, but I remembered towards the end to go ahead and unclip that and attach them all the way up to the top. The memory fold will still be there, so that wasn't a big deal. I went ahead and did that, and then I'm gonna go to the sewing machine and I'm gonna attach those sides together with a half inch seam allowance. Later on I did go ahead and finish the edges of where I attached the shorts together, because this fabric does fray and I didn't want any raggedy looking ends or whatever. So I did go ahead and serge those ends, and you'll see that later on in the video where I did finish those edges. But I just wanted to let you know that I did finish those edges later on. And here I'm just gonna sew where I attached those pieces together. And you see there, like I said, I had to remember to unroll that, and so I can sew and attach them all the way up to the top of the pieces. And here are those short pieces attached together, and you see the memory fold is still there at the top. Here I am taking the center front shorts piece and I am going to attach it to the bodice. As you can see, I have my bodice wrong side up, and you can tell the difference by the bottom of your ruffle. With my fabric, at least, the bottom of my ruffle has the unfinished denim, or the wrong side of the denim. You can clearly see, and you're going to make sure your front shorts or center shorts front piece is face up. So you're basically butting them right sides together. And there is a notch in the center of those, and you're just going to match up the notches, and on either end there will be like a slight, maybe 1/4 inch little piece left over on both ends, and that's perfectly fine. That's how it was in my on the pattern as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip those together, and then the next step is to also clip on the waistband. I'm gonna clip on that waistband piece, and then I'm gonna sew all 3 of those layers together. And just watch how I place the waistband piece, and that will help you to know how to do it if you sew this pattern as well. Here I'm placing the waistband piece. I am placing it right side to the wrong side of my bodice. So right side of my waist piece to the wrong side of my bodice. And I'm gonna sew all 3 of those layers together. Now I'm getting ready to attach the bodice, which is also, the bodice is already connected to the center front shorts. I'm getting ready to connect the back shorts that are already connected to the side shorts piece to the center front piece that is already connected to the bodice piece, if that makes sense. So basically I'm connecting the shorts and I'm making it all one piece. You want to lay your bodice and center front piece face down and match right sides of your side shorts to your center front shorts, and you're gonna just clip or pin all the way up to the side, to the top of that seam, and then you're gonna do that to both of the sides of your shorts. And once you do that, we are going to sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance up those 2 seams, and I think after that I'm gonna go ahead and finish or serge those edges just so it'll look a little better and the fabric won't fray a lot. I'm not sure if I caught that. I might have did that off camera, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do to the shorts parts. I've turned my romper inside out, or right side out, excuse me, and now I need to top stitch the seam down. I am top stitching the seam down towards the sides, and I'm going to do that for both sides of the side shorts. And I'm done with that, and you can see how well that thread blends in. Like, even if my top stitching was terrible, you wouldn't really be able to tell. It blends in really well with that denim. But yeah, I'm done with that part, so I'm just going to take a look at everything and make sure it looks good. The next part that I need to work on is the waistband, the elasticized waistband. I do have to create the casing for that, and I'm going to create that casing using the memory folds that we had made earlier in the pattern. I'm just going around and trimming some threads. I'm only trimming the threads that I know are going to get caught in the other seams. I'm tucking the ones that won't. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the elastic waistband. And like I said, this was a little bit tricky for me, but I got it done, and in the end it came out really nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on that now. I have to go around and pin down that memory fold, or clip down that memory fold, and then I'm gonna have to sew close to the bottom edge to create that casing, and that's what I'm gonna do next. So as you can see, I've gone around and I've folded back down that memory fold, and I am now clipping everything together. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to sew really close to that bottom edge so that I can have enough room for my elastic. One thing I noticed is that I think I did make a mistake when measuring the parts I needed to fold down when I was folding and pressing on my back shorts and my side shorts, and I needed to measure down to make those marks. I think I under measured, if that makes sense. I think I measured it too short, but it worked out because even though the pattern calls for 3/4 inch elastic, I was able to use a 1/2 inch elastic, and it fit through that casing just fine. So I guess if you under measure or over measure, you just have to make sure you have elastic to fit within that space. But yeah, I'm done sewing that down, and now I'm going to go ahead and feed that elastic through the casing, and that took a while, so I might just either speed through or just go to the finished part of that to show you that, because it took a minute. So I finally got all the elastic fed through, and you see it looks really nice, the waistband. And I have the elastic pinned on both sides, and I'm going to go ahead and just sew down on both of those sides to sew the elastic down. Okay, so I have my elastic waistband done, and the next thing I'm gonna do is just I have sewed down the side parts where the elastic was, and now I'm just going to close up that little part right there. I should have added my tag in right here when I was closing up this part, but I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just trying to get done. So I'm just gonna sew right down the bottom edge of that little waistband piece, and then I'll be done with that waist part. Now moving on to these cuffs, I just did them like we do any normal cuff. I folded them the long ways first and inserted them together at the edge, and then I am folding them over in half with the wrong sides touching, and there we have the cuffs, and I did both sides like that. For the crotch area, I did go ahead and attach the crotch just by sewing it together. I don't know why my thread looks like that right then, but I went ahead and serged it in the end just to finish it off a little bit better. I still need to work on the crotch areas. They're not my best work when it comes to sewing or serging because of the curve, so that's something I'm practicing more. But yeah, I'm just gonna take these cuffs that I made. You want to turn your romper inside out, and then you want to have your cuffs right side out, and you're gonna insert your cuffs into the open hole and pin or clip them together. I tried to match up the seam of my cuff with the inside seam of my romper. I just decided to go ahead and serge on those cuffs. This is something I need to practice more anyway, so I figured no better time than the present. So I went ahead and tried to serge on those cuffs. I did much better. I only missed a portion of one of the cuffs and had to go back and try to re-catch it. So that's an improvement, because usually no matter what I'm doing when I'm on this serger, if it's trying to attach something like a neckline or a cuff or a waistband or something, I always seem to have like one little gap somewhere in it. But this time I only got that like a small tiny gap where my fabric slipped in one cuff, and I think that's mainly because I'm just using clips. I was told that I need to use pins when doing this because it keeps the fabric from slipping a little better than using the clips. So that's what I'm gonna do next time. But yeah, overall it went well, and I got these cuffs on pretty easily. Okay, I'm done with the cuffs. I'm still not 100% confident in my serger skills, but they are getting a lot better. As you can see, like it looks really, really nice at the bottom. I only made one mistake in where I didn't meet up one of my seams in the crotch area. But that's okay. I think it still looks nice. I love, like I said, I love this fabric. It is so cute. It's my favorite fabric right now. But yeah, next thing I'm gonna do after I finish serging those cuffs is I'm gonna top stitch them down, making sure to catch that seam allowance while I'm top stitching. So the romper is now finished, and I'm gonna attach pictures at the end. I don't know what I was trying to do here. I was trying to get you a good look of the entire romper, but yeah, it came out so nice. It's so sturdy. Like, I love this denim fabric. It looks like something you could have bought out of the store, which I love. The last thing I do have to do is go and add buttons or snaps. I'm probably going to do that off camera because I have a new cam snap tool that I need to learn how to use. So I'm just going to add some snaps instead of buttons. Stay tuned for pictures, you guys, and thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.